Thousands of Christians live lives that appear correct on the surface, but that resonate inside with an emptiness that no achievement can ever fill. You wake up every day, do what is expected of you, follow the path that seemed safe and acceptable, but there is a whisper inside you that does not disappear no matter how hard you try to ignore it. This whisper is not an illusion, and it is not a temptation from the enemy. It is the calling of God touching your soul, waiting for you to finally recognize that you were created for so much more than the ordinary life you have been living. If you feel that there is something different in you, something that you cannot fully explain, that makes you question whether you really belong in the place where you are now, if you feel that you were born with a sensitivity and a perception that other people do not share, then this video was prepared specifically so that you understand that this difference is not a cosmic error nor a divine punishment, but rather the greatest gift that God could have given you on this journey. This video will be kept visible only for a limited time, because what you are about to hear was not made to entertain crowds or generate empty curiosity. It was made for that heart that is still searching, for that soul that can no longer ignore the calling that has echoed in your thoughts for so many years. I am speaking with you now because this moment was not meant to be shared indiscriminately with just anyone who passed by. It was meant to be found by that heart that would recognize the truth in the words I am about to share. If you feel something moving in your spirit as you hear these words, do not ignore this feeling, because what you are about to understand carries a revelation that will transform the way you see yourself and how you understand your purpose in the plan that God wove for your life from before time began. Before we continue on this deep journey, if this video is being helpful to you, if you feel that the words you are hearing touch somewhere in your heart that you thought was asleep, take this moment to subscribe to the channel, leave your like so that other souls who need this message can find it, and comment Amen in the comments so that you become part of this community of chosen ones who finally recognize your calling. Your engagement is not just an empty click. It is a declaration that you are open to receive what God has for you. It is a confirmation to heaven that you are ready to leave ordinary life behind and embrace the extraordinary destiny that was always yours by divine right. Many people spend their entire lives without ever questioning whether they are in the right place. They live comfortably within the structures that society has built for them. They follow the steps that their parents walked or that their friends walk beside them, and they never even allow the fundamental question to arise in their minds, is there something more for me? Was I created with a purpose that transcends financial security, traditional family, and social recognition? You, however, are different, because there is something in you that simply cannot rest while you do not discover the deep meaning of why you exist, of why you were placed exactly in this moment of history, in this cultural landscape, in this specific body, with these abilities and this sensitivity that many times you were led to believe were weaknesses. The truth that you are about to hear is that your weak points in the eyes of the world, your sensitivity that other people do not seem to understand, your intuition that frequently contradicts common logic, your ability to feel things that others do not feel, are not deficiencies that need to be corrected. They are divine signals that you were selected for a very specific purpose that only you can fulfill in this world. If you have always felt different, as if you see and feel things that others do not see nor feel, if you have spent your entire life feeling that you did not completely belong anywhere, if you carry a constant sensation that there is something greater waiting for you, but you have not yet discovered exactly what it is, then the ebook that I am about to present was written specifically for you and for people who share this journey of deep spiritual seeking. The ebook is called 12 Secret Keys of the Chosen Ones, and it was developed to finally help you understand that this sensitivity you carry, this intuition that has always guided you even when no one validated it, and this constant calling that resonates within you are not flaws in your creation, but extraordinary gifts and a mission you were born to fulfill in this existence. Through 12 powerful keys that you will discover in this ebook, you will finally understand why the common path was never enough for you, why you have always felt destined for something more, why other people simply cannot comprehend the depth of your spiritual quests. This ebook is available only for a limited time, and the link to access it is found in the first comment of this video. Therefore, when you finish watching, go to the comments and find the access that can completely transform the way you understand your divine calling. You may have spent much of your life thinking that something was wrong with you because you never managed to fit perfectly into the structures that society offered, because the career that everyone said would be perfect for you left you feeling empty inside, because the relationships that were supposed to be satisfying did not fill that space that seemed to be infinite in your heart. You tried with complete sincerity to believe that was your life, that was the destiny that God had prepared for you, but there was a constant whisper, a small voice inside you that kept questioning, kept searching, kept refusing to accept that was really your complete story. That voice that seemed to be against you at the time, that restlessness that your loved ones perhaps interpreted as discontent or lack of gratitude, was actually God whispering in your ear. It was the Holy Spirit touching your heart. It was the universe conspiring to guide you toward your true calling. The doors that closed in your life, the opportunities that seemed perfect but that disappeared at the last moment, the people that you loved and who moved away when you needed them most, were not cosmic punishments, nor signs that you had done something wrong. They were divine redirections. They were God-blocking paths that would lead you away from your true purpose. It is profoundly important that you understand that when God guides, He does not eliminate your ability to make choices, for the way you function as a human being depends fundamentally on your freedom to choose. But what God does is work in invisible ways to ensure that the consequences of your choices, even the ones that seem wrong at the moment, bring you back to the correct direction. You can look back now and recognize that many of the choices you believed to be mistaken were actually necessary detours, diversions that your spirit needed to make to develop the qualities you would need when you finally embraced your true calling. That career that failed miserably in your life was not a failure. It was a lesson about what really matters to you. It was an opportunity for you to discover what does not motivate you, so you could begin to search for what really makes your heart burn with purpose. That relationship that ended when you believed it would be forever was not a rejection of who you are. It was God protecting you from a distraction that would divert you from your true path. It was a demonstration of divine love, even though it hurt like nothing else has hurt in your life. The timing of God seems slow to us because He works with the perspective of eternity, while you work with the perspective of your clock, of your calendar, of your finite life on this material plane. You want to see results now. You want to feel validated immediately. You want to know that your struggles had purpose before you die. But God is weaving a much more complex pattern than you can see from your limited perspective. What God is building in you is not just for your present life. It may be that He is preparing you to influence people that you will never meet personally. It may be that He is developing qualities in you that your children, or the children of your children, will need to inherit. It may be that you are part of a chain of faith that extends through generations that have not yet been born. When you discover your true calling, you will not discover something that is only for you. You will discover something that connects you to a collective purpose. You will discover that your personal journey is also a contribution to the journey of many others. You were led to believe in many moments of your life that your sensitivity was a weakness, that the way you felt things deeply, how you perceived nuances that other people ignored, how you were touched by things that others found trivial, was a defect in your design that you needed to correct to be acceptable in the world. Your parents perhaps tried to harden you. Your friends perhaps mocked this sensitivity. The general culture perhaps taught you that to be successful and powerful, you would need to suffocate this delicate part of yourself and develop an armor of indifference. But that instruction was completely wrong, because God does not place qualities in you by chance. Every aspect of your nature, every tendency of your heart, every unique way you have of processing the world was placed there deliberately as part of your spiritual equipment. Your sensitivity is exactly what will allow you to see the suffering of people that others simply pass by. It is what will make you care enough to do something about it. It is what will enable you to create spaces where wounded people can finally feel understood and validated. You also carry an intuition that frequently defies rational logic, an ability to know things without them being explainable through data or material evidence. This is your direct connection with the Divine Spirit. It is the way that God speaks with you at a level that transcends language and reason. How many times have you simply known that something was not right without being able to explain why? How many times has your intuition saved you from a disaster that you only came to fully understand later? This intuition is not magic, and it is not something mystical that you should fear. It is the voice of God operating through your spiritual connection. It is you being able to access a wisdom that goes far beyond what your intellect alone could ever reach. There is a calling within you that resonates constantly, a sensation that there is something greater waiting, an incompleteness that no worldly achievement can satisfy, and this is not a curse, it is a gift. For this calling is what keeps you searching. It is what prevents you from falling into apathy. It is what keeps your heart alive and your spirit connected with the divine. You can look back on your life and recognize that you have gone through things that other people around you have not gone through. Crises that tested your faith in ways you were not even sure you would be able to endure. Losses that seemed to leave permanent scars on your soul even after so much time. There were nights when you prayed in silence, unsure if anyone was really listening. There were moments when you whispered your fears to the darkness of the night, hoping that heaven was not so far away to hear you. There were occasions when you shed tears that no one could see, because you were keeping your composure for everyone who depended on you. Each of those tears had meaning. Each of those nights of desperation was sculpting something in your soul. Each one of those moments when you called out to God and apparently received silence in response was shaping your character in ways that you will only understand when you look back after years. God does not abandon you in your moments of greatest suffering. He is exactly there beside you, so close to you that you should be able to feel His invisible embrace around you, holding you firm so that you do not fall completely, reminding you through your sensation that you are loved beyond anything you could possibly imagine. The disappointments you have faced in your life, the people you loved who seemed to have abandoned you when you needed them most, the opportunities that shone like gold and then disappeared before you could reach them, were not chances, nor were they cosmic errors where you were unjustly hurt. These painful experiences were lessons that no book could teach. They were moments where your spirit learned to ground itself not on external circumstances, but on an inner truth that no external situation can shake. You discovered through your suffering that the love of God does not depend on you having a perfect job. It does not depend on you being in a perfect relationship. It does not depend on you having achieved all your worldly goals and dreams. The love of God is unconditional and operates even when everything around you is collapsing. What you could not see while you were inside those difficulties was that God was orchestrating details that you could never have manipulated on your own. He was closing doors that would lead you to places that would hurt you. He was creating invisible structures that would keep you within the path that would lead you to your true purpose. Sometimes protection feels exactly like loss at the moment it is happening. It feels like rejection, like abandonment, like a cosmic injustice where you are punished while other people walk down easy and safe paths. But what you will understand is that protection is often more valuable than anything you could have achieved on your own. For when God protects you from something, He is protecting you from a future where you would have discovered too late that it was not meant for you. Your challenges were not meaningless nor unnecessary. Each one of them carried lessons that you would need to bring into your true calling. Each one of them built strength in your spiritual bones that no comfort could have ever developed. That period when you thought nothing was happening, when change seemed impossible, when you feared that your dreams would die without ever manifesting, was actually when the most important work was being done. It was when God was working behind the scenes, arranging people, opportunities, and circumstances in ways that you will only understand when everything finally begins to reveal itself. You are beginning to feel this change now, if you are truly open to recognizing it. There is a lightness that was not there before. There is a clarity that is slowly replacing the confusion that for so long was your companion. There is a sensation of hope that is growing within you, even though you cannot fully explain where it comes from. This change is real, and it is not an illusion. It is the signature that you are entering a new chapter. It is the evidence that God is moving in your life in concrete ways that you will begin to recognize more and more as you learn to be attentive to the signs. When you reach the end of this message, I want you to allow yourself to simply feel. I want you to lower your defenses. I want you to open yourself to recognize the tangible presence of the love of God surrounding you in this exact moment as you hear these words. The love of God is not a theological abstraction that exists only in ancient books. It is a living reality that is operating at this moment. It is touching you. It is whispering in your heart. It is reminding you of who you really are, beyond all the limitations that society has imposed on you. Feel this love not just with your intellect, but with every cell of your body. Let it fill you in ways that you may have been afraid to allow. Recognize that you are loved not for what you do or achieve, but simply for existing, simply for being you, simply for having the courage to keep searching when other people would have given up long ago. You were chosen not because your life has been easy, or because you specially deserved it through moral perfection. You were chosen because God saw in you something that no one else could see, saw the potential of your journey, saw how your scars could transform into wisdom, saw how your suffering could transform into compassion, saw how your sensitivity could transform into an instrument of healing for many others. Keep yourself present in this feeling of divine love. Keep yourself connected with this truth. Let it resonate in your heart through all the days that will come. And when doubts return, when fear tries to convince you that you are not really called for something greater, remember this moment. Remember how you felt when you heard these words. Remember that you are not alone on this journey, because the love of God is with you in every single step.